Hello, my name is NicholassRivas. I talk about stuff and stuff, and today we're talking about Call of Duty and zombies as a whole. For those who don't know, Call of Duty is a game where it always centers around like military shooting, but for some reason, this game had thrown in kind of second-handedly a zombies mode, and ever since then, it's been a staple and a reason why I keep coming back to this series. I enjoyed Call of Duty for the most part. When it became kind of monotonous, I just kind of quit playing. But every so often, I would go back and play Call of Duty Zombies because it was such a fun mode that just kept bringing me back. So, fast forward after all these years, Call of Duty is still releasing a zombies mode with their games, and even kind of just shoehorning them in because for a while they were only made by a certain studio. There's multiple studios that work on the Call of Duty series, and the Call of Duty Zombies series was usually handled by Treyarch. Those Treyarch team members were then asked to make some of the other games that didn't originally have zombies now have zombies. So it became a staple. Would zombies do well on its own? And could Call of Duty survive without it? Would it be as big as it is? Probably. Call of Duty is a phenomenon for a reason, but I personally think having the zombies mode really propelled it to, the cultural zeitgeist that I think we see today. Is it perfect? No. And I think the community thoroughly enjoys these games because of how kind of wonky they are, how kind of kooky, how kind of out there they are. One of my favorite maps is really broken as a game. It's Transit. That's one of my favorite Call of Duty maps. Very controversial, and the zombies community hates that mode, but I hate that map, and I love that map. And it's dated. It's clunky. It's not fun for many, but for me, I keep always putting that and thinking that in my mind because it was such a big swing. And I think that's what makes me really respect the zombies developers is even though an idea might be kind of out there, maybe the hardware isn't up to speed, they'll try it still. I think when you see some of the earlier maps and their jumps, it was the zombies mode that was taking the biggest swings. They were the ones pushing the boundaries. And again, I think Call of Duty may or may not be fine without this series, but it definitely pushed Call of Duty to be taken into a lot more people's homes. When people talk about Call of Duty, like I have friends, they didn't really play games as much, but it was in the household. Like maybe their big brother played or something, and they would say like, "Oh yeah, like I wouldn't really play the Call of Duty multiplayer much, but I would play zombies with my brother." And I think you would see that with a lot of people is they just found this mode enticing, and something about it. Like I couldn't tell you what it is, but it's definitely a mode that I think people respect. People continuously play for a reason. It's my favorite mode, and I think we don't really we don't really grasp how like cool this is that this studio is still making really good zombie modes even when they're worst. People like to crap on a lot of the Treyarch maps that just didn't hit. I still think they were fun. They have some redeeming qualities, and again, it was a swing that missed, but at least it was a swing. At least they did something different. And I think like with a lot of different games, you don't see that. You definitely don't see that with like Call of Duty's multiplayer team. They're not gonna break the mold much. Last time they did, they got yelled at, so they learned their lesson. I mean, when I think about Call of Duty as a whole, I think about like the times they did do something innovative, and people just shitted on it. And when you look at something like a zombies, yeah, that usually occurs, but then it's like the next game they come back and try to do something crazier again. Like you gotta give credit where credit's due. They're a crazy ass team of people for a reason. Like they do these crazy things and they try new things, and sometimes they play it safe. I think Black Ops 6 is something a little bit more safe. I think they focused a lot too much on the Warzone aspect, and like it feels like Cold War 2.0, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. And I think they listen to the fans, and I think they listen to the community, and that's why I feel like this game sticks out more when I'm thinking of like fan service than a Warzone or uh, or multiplayer. The multiplayer mode is fun and it has its good points, but it is definitely it's okay. Whereas I think zombies is usually above average. And I think it reigns true for many. When I play that Warzone Zombies mode that they drop every year, I think about that of like, I thoroughly enjoy the Warzone Zombies mode because I think that's something that they tried that was so unique and different. And I think that's what's missing from a lot of these, AAA games, these big studio games, where I think they're just kind of scared to like rock the boat. And it's that's not just them. That's every industry developer ever. That's every creator ever. Um, you do as much to like not alienate your true fans, but you also want to bring more in. It's a dance that like no one's perfected. But I think that the Zom creators, anytime they touch zombies, I don't know. It always hits for me. It always makes me want to go back to the series in some way. So I have nothing but respect for them. I love whenever these sick fucks get into the studio. This is like what I look forward to. And again, it's not perfect. I don't think anybody is expecting. Uh, if they are, they're kind of crazy. But I don't think they're expecting these maps to be the next like big. This is the map that's gonna get people back into zombies. I think they're making it as they go, trying some crazy swings, but I think at the end of the day they really enjoy what they do. Again, it just feels like it's your place to have fun. um as like as a creator, I'm sure developers would love to get kooky with their stuff, but I feel like you're maybe limited. Like if you were making like a Battlefield and you tried doing a zombies mode, I feel like it would be too out of place. For some reason Call of Duty just hit that, scratch that itch. I couldn't tell you why. I could maybe because it was campy enough, maybe because it was kooky enough. It's hard to tell. Like Call of Duty just hit that spot right. I don't think they're perfect. Again, I keep saying like don't. I'm not defending every stupid thing they've done, but I think you could easily argue that they have had more hits than misses. And I feel like if you disagree, I can't really change your mind. But I thank you all for watching, and I'm just gonna let the gameplay ride and expect a new video every single day, and then me talking about Warzone tomorrow. Peace.
I will now test your ability to follow simple instructions. What are you waiting for?
Got a one-way ticket back to base with your name on it.
Just don't blow up in my hands, okay? Took a bad hit. Please assist. They're losing their head. I'll make a damn sure.
A behavioral science chimp scored higher on this assessment.
Had me sweating for a second there. Trying to keep up with me, people. What a waste of bar.
Suspending exfil for now, Alpha. You're on
Try
your
to keep
own.
up with me. I dare you.